I guess there's two people to convince here, right? One is the business and showing them the numbers and building the business case for it. But often where we also see a challenge is changing the mindset of the employees, right? If up until now they've been used to just being told what to learn, now almost having to take ownership over what they need to learn and being empowered to do so. What have you seen works in that process? How do you get employees to start looking at L&D in a different way within their organization?
I think that this is really something that we need to have their manager support coming in. We need to have managers being able to hold development conversation, ask the right questions, and also create and giving the space for learning and development. So I guess that in this case, those are crucial because they are also the role model. The senior leadership could do something as role modeling, but then your manager sitting next to you and having sometimes a never a proper development conversation that is not just well done or you need to improve this. I think that this could be very, very, very powerful. And again, we are not going to onboard everyone, right? There are people who are not interested or not interested at that time. It's something that people need to also feel that is valuable, and it could take time. Again, we can have some best practice and someone who was really excited about personal development action, then sharing back.
Right.
That also.
Just kind of diving into that a bit more, Sara. What does a good manager conversation look and sound like?
Yes, so that's a very, very good question, and there is not an easy. It's not an easy answer. I think that is a question that goes beyond performances. So it's not just how you perform or how you should perform, but it's also being able to have a manager looking a little bit more strategic. What are the skills that this person can gain and help this person in their career, not only in their actual role and within my team, but overall. So, and being also able not to give all the answer, but to give the person the time to reflect on those. So I think that first and foremost is asking good question and give a little bit of time for reflection, and go back to this and making a plan together, a plan that can be followed up, that is measurable. I think that this would be very, very powerful.
Yeah. And what do you think L&D can do to get managers more involved, right? Because the common theme is everyone's busy, managers are busy, and we've all got work to do. And so it's almost L&D seem like an additional thing to do rather than a lever to actually increase the productivity of their own team. And so often what we see is L&D is very siloed to what managers are doing. And often managers are sometimes doing their own training that L&D are not aware of. And so how do you really get managers involved in that process?
I feel that L&D should be a partner. So be there when there is a need and trying to support their managers. It's not silos, is not living on a cloud that is disconnected from the business. I think that also L&D, when talks with managers, should stop talking about what training do you need, but it's more what you're trying to achieve within your team and your organization. What are the blockers? And here is how can I support you? So if you're becoming a partner and you give concrete solution to challenges that they are facing and the team is facing, they are more willing to take the risk of trying something new and giving the time. So I think that should be like a true partnership, and working together, and also creating some kind of guidelines for them that is not just a set of rules that they need to follow verbatim, but it's more, hey, this is how it should look like. This is some suggestion that I'm giving. It's not just, have a development conversation, but give them some material, and also helping them become a community of leaders so they can talk and discuss between each other. It's not just L&D telling you this,
Right.
but L&D is there to enable those conversations between leaders so they can learn and share from each other as well.
And in your experience, Sarah, what are some of the, I guess, good examples of empowering employees to own their development that you've seen, right? What are good ways to start that practice?
So I guess that we have always the constraint, what is seen as a constraint of the budget.
Right.
People don't know what they can ask, to which extent, what type of format. So I think that a very basic, understandable, accessible, easy to use guideline can be very powerful.
Right.
Hey, this is how we see development in the organization. We see that you should have resources. We imagine those kind of resources, and you can access in this way. Right. So we give some guidelines without going into the details that are limiting. We make the process to access those fundings easy. Right. And not a red tape. I need to fill 27 forms and get a bazillion of approvals. That's something that people feel uncomfortable or could feel uncomfortable. So I guess that this could be a very good starting point, because you put it out there, it's visible for everyone, and we say, hey, talk with your managers. Yeah. So they can also refer back to something that is there and say, hey, I saw this guideline, can we have this conversation? And then starting with this part.